On 18th October 2019, I recorded my first video for this channel. And could you guess what was the topic? The topic was cloud computing, where I talked about cloud computing in Hindi because I didn't knew that I'll be recording all of my videos in future in English. And I only talked about these three: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. But if you see, now we are into cloud computing 2.0 era. If we have to see the journey of cloud, we can actually separate it into 2 decades. Decade 1 could be from 2010 to 2020, and the next decade would be 2020 to 2030. And there has been some massive shifts because primarily we started in cloud with these basic cloud models, which we'll understand quickly, and then where we are heading now. So infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service could be understood very easily through an analogy of a restaurant. Okay, so if you are going to a restaurant and you are given the whole kitchen of that restaurant, where you have all the equipments, all the utensils, everything to cook the food, then it is something which is equivalent to infrastructure as a service, where you are giving the power from the cloud to run your own servers. For example, on AWS, you can run your EC2 instances. It is like renting the infrastructure and then you can build your servers on top of it. That is infrastructure as a service. Platform as a service means that you have the recipe, but you just need to get in, give the recipe to the chef, and the chef will make the food for you. That is platform as a service, wherein you just have your code. You don't need to set up any environment. You use the platform as a service, for example, Heroku, and you build your applications directly. You don't have to worry about how to set up the servers, how to set up the environment, nothing. That was platform. And software was food delivered to your house. It is like, you have to do nothing. For example, Gmail. Gmail is a very good, easy example of software as a service, where you don't need to do anything. You're just consuming the services which are already ready to be delivered. But now that was kind of a past. While we are still using very much a lot of this, we are evolving to these 7 different kind of cloud models. The first one to start with is FaaS, which is called as function as a service. A very important one, because not everything need full-blown development. There are a lot of scenarios which are event-based, and for that you can use function as a service, which will spin up quickly, do the job, and go away. It's like very, very efficient because you are saving a lot of money. You are not running a server for doing something which you will only do once in a day, once in a week, once in a month. So anything event-based has completely moved to function as a service, which is provided by services like AWS, Lambda, Azure Functions, Google Cloud Functions. And if you see any system design architecture, for example, on AWS, it will not be complete without Lambda. And by the way, if you are not very sure of where to start your cloud journey, you can check the link in the description, because we have made something which is very easy for a beginner to start with on AWS. And we have also added a module which will teach you how to use AI to become a better cloud professional. Okay, so you can check the link in the description and see if it works for you. So that is function as a service. The second in the list is a very important service, which is BaaS, which is backend as a service. Traditionally, to develop any backend heavy application, developers used to take 4 to 6 months to develop it, because they had to do a lot which was not necessarily directed towards the actual logic. They were busy setting up the authentication, they were busy setting up their backend databases, one-time passwords if they want to further enhance the security, all those kind of things they used to do. Now all of it is ready-made. So there are applications like Firebase, okay, which can set up everything. It would be ready for you, so you can start doing the actual coding for your application rather than working and developing all these peripheral services. So backend as a service is a very good thing if you want to test a prototype very quickly, if you want to build MVP. It might not be suited for a full-blown advanced end-to-end enterprise application, but for something very quick at a startup level, at a MVP or prototype level, backend as a service comes in very handy, because you just need to write few lines of code. For example, if you want to get users to be authenticated using their Google or Gmail ID, you just have to call that particular API and embed it into your code, and you would be good to go. I think backend as a service makes life a lot easier for the developers, and even the front-end developers can now feel like they are a full-stack developers, because a lot of this heavy lifting are already done for them. So that is backend as a service. The third one is AI as a service. So previously, for any kind of AI development, we used to gather the data, hire data scientists, build, develop, deploy the machine learning models for every use case. But now you have use cases which are ready-made. You just have to call the APIs on the cloud and you're good to use those AI models. So those are AI as a service, speech recognition, vision, all those kind of services you can easily find on any Google Cloud, Amazon or Azure services as AI as a service. Okay. So again, very effective. You can use, for example, your base LLM models as well to build something very customized for your generative AI use case that will also come under AI as a service. So fourth in our list is security as a service. Security, again, a very important aspect on cloud, are now getting delivered through these ready-made, ready-to-serve models. For example, for identity, you have services which can provide you multi-factor or two-factor authentication. You have, for example, for protection, you have cloud firewalls. For compliance, you have GDPR compliance. There are ready-made services which you can use on cloud, which will analyze, your PII data, personal identifiable information, and tell you how much you score on your GDPR compliance. So security again is now getting converted into a service. The fifth one in this list is container as a service. Again, containers, serverless architecture is very important. We have talked about event-driven architectures as well. You can watch that video. But container as a service, previously you have to deploy your Docker desktops, build everything on your desktop, then deploy a Kubernetes platform on cloud on your own and manage it. But now you are having everything ready-made. You have your ready-made Kubernetes platforms which you can use on cloud. For example, on AWS you have Elastic Kubernetes service or Elastic Kubernetes engine, and you have your container service as well. So you can use these services to manage your container end to end. You don't have to deploy anything physically yourself. And similarly, you have everything on Azure and Google Cloud as well. So container as a service is very important now, because almost everything is now turning serverless, from monolith to microservices. And finally, the last two are both called DaaS. The number one DaaS is called data as a service, where you are getting your ready-made data sets on the cloud, your analytics data for your APIs. Everything can be ready-made and available for you to use and analyze. You can have some sample data sets as well to use for example, for training your machine learning models. So data as a service is becoming very important. And last one is desktop as a service. For your remote desktop or virtual workstation requirements, you can use desktop as a service. There are different services which you can use. You can distribute it within your team, and they can use desktop as a service to use remote desktop for working. So yeah, cloud is now moving from these three high-level cloud models to these models, these 7 models. And then on top of it, if I have to put something here, it is called as XaaS. I don't know how to spell it, but it is called everything as a service. So whatever we have discussed, I think we can call everything could be run as XaaS. Everything as a service, it means whatever is in cloud has to be a service, as simple as that. And that's where cloud is moving. This is important because this is our fundamental root, but this is the branches and the fruits and the flowers of that tree which are blossoming now on cloud. So if you are learning cloud in today's era, then you have to be focusing more on these things rather than just focusing on this, because this is very simpler now to understand. This is where the complexity lies. So I hope it was useful. Again, if you are someone who wants to start their journey on cloud, check the link in the description. It might be helpful for you. And if you like the video, please hit the like, share, subscribe, press the bell icon so you exactly know when we upload our next video. And until next time, keep learning, keep sharing, and keep growing. Bye for now.